So you work remotely today. Is your precious data protected?
Welcome to our short presentation on defending your laptop from intrusions. In this short presentation, we will talk about how to use Snort, intrusion detection and prevention tool, to protect your computer and your data. Snort is free open source system that can detect, prevent malicious activity on your computer or network. You can install it and enable Snort in few simple steps. And I will give you a few tips how it's done, and hopefully it will make your configuration of the Snort much easier. So remember, before you install Snort, you need to install something called npcap, which is network analyzer tool. Snort uses it to analyze network traffic. npcap can be downloaded from vendor's website. URL is on your screen, and setup takes only about 1 minute, and you should accept all default settings. After that, you can install Snort from snort.org. And for simplicity, I suggest you follow me, and I install my Snort directly on C drive under Snort folder. The probably most laboring task is to configure Snort properly. But I will provide you a helpful template and how it's done. The critical component of configuration, is variables that declaring your LAN and WAN. So let's get started and see how it's done. Snort.config file located under Snort installation directory in the etc folder. The header of this file contains step-by-step instructions on configuration, so that I will show you only the most significant changes that you need to implement. The most important thing is to identify your home network. As you can see in top highlighted area of the presentation, you need to find your IP address, which is done by running certain commands in terminal window if you're using Linux, or command prompt if you're using Windows computer. So open up your command prompt and type ipconfig command if you're on the Windows, or ifconfig if you're using any of Linux distros. Modern Linux distros might not have ifconfig, but instead you can use new command ip space a and hit enter. Both of those commands, all of those commands, will reveal your current network configuration and will show you network address that assigned to you by network to which you connected. In my case, it's 172.60.220.19. So your variable in the configuration file that calls home._net, you should assign to this IP address, just as on highlighted portion. The second step is to determining your external network, which is very simple. You use bash syntax to specify that external network is everything which is not home network. By default, Snort is configured only as intrusion detection tool. But if you want to also enable intrusion prevention, you need to add two additional variables into your config file. You need to uncomment and add some values. So you basically setting preprocessor command and you setting detect anomalies. Without this, Snort will run only as a detective, and everything what it will find, it will put in log files. But with intrusion prevention mode, it will stop any suspicious activities immediately. Also, Snort behaves as prescribed by his rules. Rules file initial provided by community, and it contains around 4,000 of different rules. I strongly advise you to refrain using this file in your laptop, as creators of these rules covered a lot of services not applicable to your laptop. For example, you might not use Telnet, SMTP, or HTTP services, but monitoring those rules will create huge network traffic overflow and will also flood your log file with unneeded errors because service is not enabled. So it will kind of damage performance of your device. So how to configure rules? In most cases, attackers will use or Kali Linux distribution or Parrot AS. Those operating systems commonly used by hackers to invite devices. So the rule which starts with alert, for example, first rule, alert, will detect operating system Kali Linux and block access from that operating system to your laptop. If you configured intrusion prevention mode, then you should use a reject rule, which will drop all the connections to Kali machine. And same applies, as you can see below, for Parrot operating system. In case to access your laptop, attackers must first discover all open ports on your machine to see what ports they can use for invasion. So displayed rules will detect port scan, and again, it will create a log in log file or will block access completely. You should frequently review Snort logs. They contain valuable information about intrusion techniques that bad guys is trying to use when trying to connect to your computer. Keep in mind that those log files contain log captured network packets. So in case to see them, you need some simple application like YouTube bot to view that. Or for simplicity, you can use alert.ads file, but this file does not contain detailed information, only like very, very top level of information of what was going on, but it's in plain English. When you configure your Snort, you need to verify if it's running. It's done by issuing the following command in command prompt window. Snort C. C parameter shows location of Snort configuration file. After you type this command in command prompt window, hit enter key and carefully examine output of this command. If output contains no errors, you're good to go. In conclusion, I would like to once again bring your attention to Snort, excellent and free detection prevention tool that can monitor network traffic and detect and block malicious activities. If you need any help on configuring your Snort or other related to cybersecurity questions, we are always ready to help. You can hire us to be your cybersecurity consultant. Information is provided on our logo at the left top corner of this page. Safe computing, everybody.